How's it going? What you doing? Huh? You being cute? Hey, today's Thursday. Today's the first Thursday of the month, and that means that today is therapy talk. So, I thought for today we could talk about what I call like the crisis word or like the safe word. It's something that was really helpful for me and still can be pretty helpful, but I try to work through it in different ways now. So, one thing I really struggle with is my throat tightens up and my jaw gets really tight sometimes when I'm in a therapy session. So it's like my throat gets like really, really tight, and then my jaw is really tight, and I just can't like speak. Like I'm incapable of speaking during that time. And that's not particularly fun. Um, duh. But it's also not helpful. So it's really hard for me to communicate what's going on. And it might just be something like I'm just having a bad day or what have you, but there's times where it's really important that I need to communicate something and that's not being communicated. So one of my catch-all phrases became just a word, and it's a nothing word. So something like arugula or pen, something I don't use in my daily life. So like saying like Dylan isn't really going to be helpful because I talk about Dylan and how he's helpful for me. We'll talk about him in another video, I'm sure. But so essentially what it meant was I was having a crisis, or I was trying to say something that I couldn't say. I'm having the urge to go and do something, one of my behaviors. It could be I'm feeling like I'm ready to isolate, I'm ready to, whatever it might be, something else could be coming up. So it's a good catch-all phrase. So, and it's really nice that it's a catch-all phrase and not like something specific, like arugula is only for this, and tomatoes are only for that, and it doesn't have to be all food-based. It could be oregano means, it needs to be one, for me, it has to be one word because I need it to not give away what I'm trying to say, otherwise I can't say the word. So that I can say the word, clue in my therapist as to what's happening, that something's happening. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but something important's happening, and it's probably we go to, right to, okay, let's relax, let's do some relaxation techniques, let's do, breathing, maybe we need to change the topic for a little bit, make a note, come back to it later. And sometimes that's what it was. Like sometimes it was, hey, I'm not able to say it right now. A couple days down the road, I could email my therapist. Now, emailing is something I'll talk about later and why that was incredibly important for me. So we'll come back to that. So I might email my therapist a couple days down the road, or maybe later that afternoon when I've kind of calmed down. I can kind of distance myself from it. It might still be here, like while I'm typing, but my fingers can move usually. So typing was a really great way to create a barrier between me and what was being said and being able to say it. So then we can kind of go at that topic maybe a little bit differently. Sometimes it was about the fact that, hey, I'm having flashbacks, and I really struggled in the beginning to talk about it. I still do have trouble talking about it and saying that I have flashbacks, but it's a lot easier now. I feel a little bit more like, oh, and that. And and less of like, I don't want to say it, I don't have those, so that's not what's going on. So that's a really good improvement. That safe word, the crisis word, if you will, also those, it's just a really good tool for me. It's been really helpful. So it's something that comes up a lot and something I wanted to talk about first, because I think if it's helpful for me, maybe somebody else might want to use it and try it out. So it's something to talk to your therapist about. Came up for me by saying, hey, there's certain things I just can't say. And I might be able to say it later in an email. I might be able to write it down and bring it in for you. So then we moved into talking about, hey, maybe in those moments where I'm not able to say whatever's going on, and in those moments we also talked about how I was really struggling when I first started seeing the therapist. I saw, we talked about how I was really struggling, so it was really important to have that sort of support that I could say, arugula, something's going on, and they were able to help me quite a bit. And maybe that week I got more support, maybe some phone calls, some check-ins, and those check-ins would consist of talking about coping skills, maybe talking about what was coming up, so that way we knew what to talk about in our next session. Sometimes it was just like a good safety thing, make sure I was still there, and it was really important for me. I felt less alone, and I also felt like I was able to start saying something, being able to talk, speak, use my voice. So, yeah, the safety word / crisis word is something that's been very helpful for me. So I highly recommend it, and if you want to use it, you can. If not, now we know that those are some of my things that I do in therapy. Talk about words. Anyway, so that's therapy talk. Do it on the first Thursday of every month. Subscribe to my channel if you want to know more. I'm going to be talking more about all these different things that happen in recovering from bulimia and PTSD, including those shitty times, which happen a lot, so stay tuned. Those are fun, right? Anyway, have a great day. See you soon. Dylan's being a wiggle worm.